Hey everyone, this is Mike Kramer of Mott Capital. Tonight is February 6th. It's around 6:15 New York time. So today, it was a pretty dull day for the most part in equity market land. We had the S&P 500 rise today by about 20 basis points or so, but most of those gains came in the final 20 minutes of trading with this kind of straight line rally into the close. That may have just been an attempt to get the market over the 49.50 strike price for options that trade on 0 DTE. That was a relatively decent size level of gamma today, and that may have drove that final 20 minutes of trading. And so this is a suspicious end of day rally that I would be watching for tomorrow to see if we have a drop and undercut this low. Just like on some rally days and we finish lower, we talk about clearing certain levels. If we're talking about a market that is actually weakening, then we would want to see this market undercut 49.40 pretty quickly tomorrow, and that could open up at least a retest of 49.36 with a opening to lower levels. And what's interesting is that we have this consolidation forming in the S&P right now. There's an uptrend here. We have what looks like a broadening top. So we're going to want to see what kind of happens here. Is this going to be a point where we stop going up and we're going to see the index trade lower to create some sort of narrowing top? Or are we going to try to keep pushing higher and try to find resistance somewhere up around the 5,000 level, which is, a big psychological level? It's probably doesn't have much more importance than that. But clearly, if we were to, continue to rise and go towards this trend line, we would be talking about a move to about 5,000 or so, likely being the next area of resistance that we could get to in the next couple of days if this is a setup to move higher. If this is a setup to move lower, again, I would be looking for a quick drop tomorrow with a break of support here at 49.40 and preferably 49.36 with a continued move down. So that's something to watch for. And look at the NASDAQ 100. It has that same pattern we were talking about yesterday, where we have this top here. We tried to, it looks like, briefly get above it today, and the market sold off pretty quickly thereafter. We had that same, sharp rally the last 20 minutes of trading. So again, like the S&P, I would be looking for some sort of drop to undercut this low, preferably the 17,485 level, which could set up a return to the gap at 17,340, and potentially this lower trend line, and could be 17,340 depending on where the timing is. But in the meantime, if this is some sort of just sideways consolidation as the market gears up for another leg higher, it becomes fairly easy and obvious, I think, because 17,665 has obviously been the level of resistance. For the market to go higher, we're going to have to penetrate that. That's obviously been now resistance 3-4 times. And so this is the level you need to watch. You get above this, and there's probably significant room to run. And if you can't, then it looks like we're going to be heading lower. Again, I would be watching, just because we had this kind of late day 20-minute rally, which really didn't accomplish very much of anything. I'd be watching for some sort of drop at the opening tomorrow. Also, we have the Dow, also a very similar late day surge here that took it higher in the last 20 minutes of trading. Again, really didn't accomplish very much. Couldn't even get above this high from the morning. And again, I would be looking for a drop below 38,390 tomorrow to start, with the potential, obviously, to fill a gap up to 38,658. You can see that there's a little bit of an uptrend here. This would obviously be some support, but if this were to break, then we're talking about significantly lower levels coming back here around 38,220. So I think right now the market's sort of in a holding period. I couldn't exactly tell you why. It's becoming clearer that the Fed is not that eager to cut rates. It's becoming we have a 10-year auction tomorrow, at 1 o'clock. We have a 30-year auction on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Perhaps there's some nervousness around those auctions. We will be getting a CPI report next week. Outside of that, most of earnings are now complete, at least in terms of the big mega cap companies. You're through the 50% mark on the S&P 500. And so, you would think that the market at least would be at a point where it would be able to make a decision relatively soon in terms of the direction it overall wants to go. But again, I think over the very short term, it's very clear where our sort of demarcation lines are, with the indexes sort of trading right in the middle of them at this point. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.